Have you noticed something lately? We keep seeing the same pattern. The most successful people turn out to be the most corrupt ones. The files, corporate scandals, every single day something new comes out. But let me tell you something. This isn't new. It's always been this way. I realized this while watching a film called Nightcrawler. Let me take you to the very end of it. A guy named Lou Bloom has built his own news agency, started a company, and is giving a speech to his employees, a successful entrepreneur. At the beginning of the film, he was just a thief looking for work on the streets. So how did that happen? Most of you watching this are decent people. People who follow the rules, help others, try to do the right thing. But let me ask you something. Do you actually feel like life rewards you for that? Or do you, like me, think that the system simply doesn't reward people like us? In this video, we're going to talk about one thing. Why do good people always lose? But first, whether you know me or not, let me tell you something. At the end of this video, I'm going to say something that will change your perspective. I'm not telling you to take notes right now, but when that moment comes, you'll understand exactly what I mean. Now, let's talk about Lou Bloom. The film starts at night in a Los Angeles rail yard. Lou is cutting through wire fencing, stealing scrap metal. Then a security guard shows up, and Lou says he's lost, says he didn't know, says he's looking for work. The guard asks for his ID, and Lou beats him and steals his watch. Right at the very beginning of the film, the director does this on purpose, so the audience doesn't later say, the job corrupted him, the system changed him, because Lou Bloom was always this person. The director makes sure we know that. He goes to sell the scrap metal, they offer him low money, he negotiates, asks for a job, but the guy doesn't even take him seriously. Lou goes home without giving up, irons his cheap shirt. There's a funny scene on TV, and Lou smiles, but doesn't laugh yet. He looks to his right first, as if someone is there, then he laughs. A normal person laughs without thinking, it's just a reflex. But Lou checks first, like he's playing a role as if someone is watching him. Even laughing doesn't come naturally to him. He's rehearsing in his head how he's supposed to act around other people. That night, he randomly comes across a traffic accident. He sees cameramen filming it. He talks to one of them and finds out they sell this footage to news channels. The next day, he sells a stolen bike, buys a cheap camera and a police scanner with that money. Video Production News is officially founded, with one employee, Lou Bloom. Nothing much comes out of the first few weeks, but Lou memorizes police codes, learns what each call means. One night, there's an armed robbery in a wealthy neighborhood, and the first camera on the scene is Lou's camera. He takes the footage to Nina. Nina is the director of a local news channel, the lowest rated one. Nina tells him this: "How do I describe what we air? Think of our newscast as a screaming woman running down the street with her throat cut." Lou just says, "I understand." And he really does understand, because what does the system want? Blood, fear, screaming. Lou delivers that, and the system rewards him. But there's a detail here. There's a body at the crime scene, and the angle is bad. Lou picks up the body, drags it under the headlights for a better shot. In the background, triumphant music is playing, like he's doing something incredible, like we're watching a success story. The director put this in deliberately, because the system thinks exactly the same thing. What Lou is doing is what the system wants, and the music is just admitting it. There's his rival Joe, more experienced, better equipment, and he outpaces Lou from time to time. Lou uses what he learned from his days working as a mechanic and quietly cuts the brakes on Joe's van one night. The crash happens. Joe is dying on a stretcher, and Lou runs over, films it, and sells it. One less competitor. So what does the system do? Does it open an investigation? Look into it? No, it just buys the footage. By the end of the film, Lou is growing his company, hiring new employees, giving them speeches. The system doesn't stop him, it makes him bigger. Now we're all asking the same question. Why doesn't the system stop Lou? Actually, we're all focusing on the wrong thing, because the real question is, why does the system need him? Because Lou Bloom saw where people were vulnerable, and he used that as a weapon. Think about Rick, homeless, jobless, Doesn't know where he's sleeping that night. Lou found him exactly like this, because Lou wasn't looking for someone talented, he was looking for someone desperate. The difference is simple. A talented person negotiates, pushes back, fights for what they deserve. A desperate person just agrees. Lou knew this, and that's exactly why he chose Rick. He didn't call him an assistant, he called him executive vice president. He gave motivational speeches, acted like he was genuinely teaching him something, but at the same time, he was hiding what he was actually paying Rick. He was making thousands every night, while giving Rick $30. And when Rick questioned it, Lou would throw it back in his face, telling him nobody likes to be lied to. So the same man who was lying to Rick to manipulate him was standing there giving him a morality lesson about a small lie. But Lou didn't only manipulate with words. There's a body at a crime scene and the angle is bad. So Lou picks it up and drags it under the headlights for a better shot. A family photo is sitting in the wrong spot on the refrigerator, so Lou takes it and moves it right next to the bullet holes for a more emotional image. He's not changing reality, he's just reframing it, and the system buys this reframed reality without asking a single question. At one point, his rival Joe offers Lou a job. "Let's work together," he says. "Let's be partners." But Lou had already gone to Joe with a job application before, and Joe had turned him down. Now the roles had flipped, and Lou turned him down without hesitation, because Lou was never there to work under anyone. He was always there to be on top. And it's right at this moment that Lou admits something. What if my problem isn't that I don't understand people, but that I don't like them? When you hear that line, everything falls into place. Lou doesn't fail to understand people. It's the complete opposite. He saw everything. Who was vulnerable and where? Who needed what? Who was about to fall apart? He analyzed it like a psychologist and used it like a hunter. One night, Rick stops and asks for more money, fights for what he deserves, starts questioning things. That night, Lou deliberately sends Rick into a restaurant where armed killers are hiding. He knows what's going to happen to Rick in there. He does the math, and he sends him anyway. Rick walks in. The guns go off. Lou is outside, camera ready. He watches his assistant go down in a pool of blood and doesn't hesitate for a single second. Because for Lou, this isn't a tragedy, it's a shot. The detective asks him later, "You filmed him while he was dying." Lou says, "That's my job. That's what I do. Now let me take you to a scene in the film." Nina is yelling at Lou. Lou walks into the other room and hits the mirror so hard it shatters, cutting his hand. There's something inside Lou, but it never comes out. It only ever hits the mirror. I stopped when I watched this film. I've always followed the rules, always been honest, always tried to do the right thing. I watched Lou and asked myself, so what did I get for it? That question stayed with me, and maybe right now, you're asking yourself the same thing. Now let's talk about Nina, because Nina's story stands in a different place. Nina is at the end of her career. Her channel is sinking. Her contract is running out. Lou saw this and took note, because for Lou, weakness wasn't a tragedy. It was an opportunity. First, he filled the need, brought great footage, ratings went up, but Lou didn't stop there. He slowly made himself indispensable, and the moment he did, he turned around. He wanted more money. He wanted on-screen credit. He pressured Nina into being with him. He didn't scream. He didn't threaten. He just calmly laid out what was going to happen. Nina was disgusted, but she agreed because she had no other choice. But here's the most unsettling part. Nina started to become LOU. It came out that the killers in the home invasion were actually drug traffickers, but if they aired that detail, the audience sympathy would drop. Wealthy victims made better ratings. Nina buried the detail. She chose ratings over the truth. She was Lou's accomplice now, just without a camera. Lou didn't just manipulate a person. He transformed one. So what did the system say to all of this? Nothing. It rewarded him, because as far as the system was concerned, Lou Bloom was exactly the kind of person it needed. So what about you? You've been watching Lou for 3 parts now. You were disgusted. You were angry. Maybe you asked yourself, how is this guy not being punished? But now I'm going to tell you something uncomfortable. Who fed Lou? Every morning we open the news. We stop when we see blood. We click when crash footage shows up. Fear-selling headlines get more reads. Horror-filled videos get more views. Why did Nina buy that footage? Because we watched. Why did the system reward Lou? Because we demanded it. Lou couldn't have grown this big on his own. something prepared the ground for him, and that ground is US. But let's get to the real point, because this video isn't just about Lou Bloom. Think of someone in your life who acted like Lou, maybe at work, maybe in your social circle, someone who didn't follow the rules, set their conscience aside, used people as tools, and that person moved forward, got promoted, won, while you were honest, followed the rules, helped people, and fell behind. So let me ask you this, did that person succeed because of their lack of morality, or because you couldn't read the system? Because having a conscience and knowing the system are not the same thing. When we mix the two up, we make the biggest mistake of all. A conscience makes you a good person, but having a conscience without understanding the system just makes you an easier target. Lou knew this, and now, so do you. I told you at the beginning of this video that I was going to say something. That moment is now. Take note of this, because what I'm about to say is law. Being a good person is not a weakness, but being a good person without understanding the system is blindness.